Now, depression sucks. I'm now going to share with you how to develop a totally new relationship with depression so that you're less afraid of getting depressed and have less shame, more control when you actually do feel depressed. I'm David Drapkin, a psychotherapist and social worker with many years' experience helping my clients and myself through mental health challenges. I want to thank our sponsor, Marpa Minds, a network of next-generation mental health clinics delivering insurance-covered esketamine Spravato treatment to patients with depression. Find out more, go to marpaminds.com. Today, I'm going to be talking about depression. Are you a believer in what I'm calling the soup brain hypothesis? The idea that our brains are just a mixing bowl of chemicals and random memories controlling all our thoughts and beliefs. Or you might be suffering from what I'm calling emotional randomness myth, which says that our emotions are so volatile and mysterious that we simply can't ever control how we feel. So depression, it's not unusual to experience in life. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It is seriously common, even normal. And according to the National Institute of Mental Health, around 8.3% of adult Americans are depressed right now, and around 29% of adults are diagnosed with depression at some point in their lives. So just imagine these millions of people with depression all feeling something similar to each other, but also having a completely unique and private internal experience of their own depression. So we all experience depression differently, and that is where the magic happen. We all have our own unique story around what depression means to us and some pretty strong beliefs about what to do with this depression when it comes up. So some typical negative beliefs and reactions to being depressed include, no, why am I depressed? What is wrong with me? It's not okay to be depressed. I should be happy. I'm such a loser. Why can't I just get over this? I hate being depressed. I'll have to hide it from everyone until I feel normal again. Okay, so let's sprinkle some mental health magic dust all over that, and then listen to this. We have the power to define depression in a way that traps and hurts us. We also have the power to redefine it in a way that sets us free. I'm not saying that depression is desirable or easy to fix. It's not. I'm also not denying that depression is a diagnosable medical condition. It is. It's not just a mental health condition to avoid, fix, or get rid of. It's so much more. So what if we start to see depression as a messenger from our deepest self, an unbroken lifeline into our unconscious operating system, our identity scaffolding, perhaps even to our very soul itself. When we start to define depression like that, it becomes clear that it's a call for help from the depths of our true being. It's a vital energy within us that somehow got disconnected from our core self, and now it needs attention and reconnection. So, if depression is a messenger, what messages is it sending exactly? So remember when I said earlier that everyone has their own totally unique experience of depression and a unique story around what this ultimately means to them. Our identity, our sense of meaning, and what we define as normal is built upon thousands of unconscious stories we've collected since birth. It's a secret library within us that helps us feel more belonging and makes social functioning and decision-making much easier. Here's the kicker. Most of the time when we are depressed, our internal storyteller becomes super negative and pessimistic. He gets stuck on autoplay with stories like, such an idiot, there's something wrong with me, or the old classic, I'm never going to get better. So during these tough moments, we simply have to become aware of these negative stories for what they are, stories. Otherwise, the stories become ourself, because when we start believing them as true, we then see ourselves as inherently broken and shameful. That's just who I am. This cognitive fusion reinforces a negative self-narrative of hopelessness. It's what we call a depressive self-schema, a psychology term for deeply ingrained negative self-perception. You are amazing, especially if you're dealing with depression. So please don't identify your sense of self with those depression stories. No matter how dark things feel, there's always a you that remains vibrantly alive, independent and separate to whatever messages depression is sending you. But to sum up this part, we are literally in relationship with our depression and with every message it sends us. Therefore, let's embrace these messages as intimate invitations to deepen our relationship with the messenger. And when we put our self-defeating stories to the side, we can then listen to our messenger communicating all its fears, its needs, its doubts, its regrets from deep within us. Isn't that beautiful? Our most complex, confused, conflicted parts of ourselves want us to know them better, to be in a closer relationship with them. This means that our job is to develop our inner awareness, to identify these messages, and then to surround them with compassion and acceptance. We separate the stories from the messages and then tune into the messages as best as we can. Transform our depression into an opportunity to become more emotionally flexible, to be less hard on ourselves for feeling down. And ultimately, this helps us to cultivate a more resilient and creative relationship with depression. I'm going to repeat myself. Something I said earlier. We have the power to define depression in a way that traps us, but we also have the power to redefine it in a way that sets us free. Here's some homework to help you gain a new understanding of depression by being more intimately in relationship with the messages it's sending you. And when you're feeling depressed, listen to those thoughts with compassion, self-love, forgiveness. Because if you can't be in your own corner when you're down, then who can? Next, notice harsh judgment about yourself. Try to let go of any unhelpful stories telling you that you shouldn't be depressed or that you're a bad person because you are depressed. Separate the depressive fiction from the true story of who you really are. And also tune into your body. Take some deep breaths and notice what your body is also saying, as our bodies tend to do a better job at being truthful and kinder to ourselves. Depression is an invitation to know ourselves better, to love ourselves more, fine-tune how we relate to life, especially the most vulnerable parts from deep inside us. Briefly summarize one more time. I want you to see depression not as a debilitating condition to be eradicated, but as a meaningful messenger from our inner selves about who we are and who we could become. And each person's experience of depression is totally unique. And the negative narratives we often adopt are not fixed truths, but rather they're old, unhelpful stories that we have the power to rewrite. And ultimately, my message today is one of hope, empowerment, and transformation, guided by self-awareness, emotional resilience, and perhaps some personal liberation. Thanks for watching this episode of Marpa Minds, next generation mental health clinics delivering insurance-covered esketamine Spravato treatment to patients with depression. To find out more information, just go to marpaminds.com. Also, I'd love you to join the conversation, so please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And keep coming back to this Marpa Minds channel, so we've got an amazing lineup of podcast interviews, inspirational and educational videos, plus some guided meditations coming up. I'm David Drapkin. Thanks so much for showing up.